you may or may not be a Christian, but everybody has heard about church. If you attend a church yourself or you have entered a church, what are your thoughts about it? Do you know what is the purpose of church? And that's one of the things I want to look at with you today. And we are looking at the third chapter of Exodus, the second book of the Bible, that talks about Moses and the burning bush. That's the title of the passage. Now Moses had fled from Egypt. He had murdered someone there because he thought that was the best thing he could do for his brothers. And so he was pursued and he ran away. And he had been in the wilderness for a long time. He was a shepherd. He was tending the flock of his father-in-law. He had got married. He got kids. And he was comfortable and, a good shepherd. And then one day, he came to Horeb, a mountain, and he saw something that he had never seen before. It was a bush, a shrub, big enough, and it was in flames. It was burning bright, shining, burning. But the strange thing is that it didn't get consumed. And so Moses got closer. And as he got closer, he had an encounter with God. And that's what we do when we near a church or you enter a church. The church is supposed to offer an encounter with God. The church should be a burning bush, full of the zeal and passion for God, manifesting the glory, the love of God, a God that is a consuming fire, a God that is light. And so he came close, and then God called him, and that's what God does. If God sees that you are close, then he starts calling you, calling your name. He didn't say, "Hey, shepherd, come." He called him Moses. Moses. And God called him. Moses replied, "Here am I." And we see that repeatedly in the Bible. People being called and said, like little Samuel, "Yes, here am I. Your servant listens." And then the first thing we get to know after that, we start discovering God. God reveals himself to Moses, and that's what he does to everyone that enters a church and starts coming to church. He said, "The place where you are standing is holy ground." God wants to reveal his holiness to us. The same holiness he asked all his members to be. He said, "Be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy." And that holiness is not of us. It's the righteousness of God given to us. And we are being transformed from glory to glory. And we are all work in progress. So you come to church and you meet the holiness of God in various ways. And one of the ways is as you see his own people being transformed, being changed, showing different facets of him. And then God teaches people who he is. And that's what we see him doing with Moses. He said, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." And then further on, then God continues revealing himself, his love, his care, his compassion, his knowledge, and his interest in human affairs. He's not a lowly, a highly potentate somewhere that doesn't care. No. He doesn't ask for your submission and your shutting up. He's interested, and he shows that he cares. And he could have saved the problem of the Hebrews that were slaves in Egypt, but he decided to use Moses, like he decides day by day to use human beings to partner with him. And that's what he said to Moses then. After revealing himself, then he tells him, okay, you are the one chosen now. I want you to go. Go to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. And then also, what we see next is that it's not just an order falling from on high. It's a command, yes, but it allows for dialogue. And that's what we see also with other people like Abraham in Genesis. When God speaks, he's initiating a dialogue. And Moses said, "Who am I?" And God said, "Don't worry, I will be with you." And that's another thing we learn about God in church, that he's always with you. And then he gives him signs, he gives him clues how to work. And then Moses replies, "Well, I don't even know how you are called." And God reveals his very name to him. He said, "I am who am I?" Who I am. And the dialogue continues. And then Moses says, I'm not fully equipped. If you study the story of Moses, you know that he grew up in Pharaoh's house. He was taught in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. So it's not like he was not equipped. And he was saying that he could not speak well. But God knew that he was already fully prepared. And he said, "Okay, no problem. I am going to equip you. See the button. This is how you are going to use it. Your stick, your shepherd's stick." And then finally, we see God offering him to partner with his brother Aaron. And that's the last thing we learn here about the church, is that the church is about teams. You are not going to be a lonely star, going to shine on your own in mission and taking the glory. God doesn't share his glory. And that's why he wants people to work in teams. And his word says that when you are together, you are stronger. And this is common sense. And so, come to church. And if you have been missing church, why not try another day, another time? Church is where God manifests, teaches about himself, and equips people, blesses them, and sends them. So this is an invitation to all of you.